With your boys, you mentioned horse riding. What other things do you do then? Or what other kind of, like, hiking you mentioned? What things do you do to cultivate that rujula in your boys?
So there's a variety of things that we've been doing over the years. Um, Firstly, I make sure my kids live a healthy lifestyle, right? No obesity allowed in my house,
Good.
right? So they all need to work out, they need to eat healthy, they need to make sure they're in shape. That's very important. Another thing is that we have an environment where you learn to do things for yourself and you can make
Mhm.
mistakes. So from a very young age, my kids can stay home alone. They can cook. They can use the toolbox to fix anything in the house themselves. Right? I've taught them all these skills at a very young age. I taught them first aid at a young age. Like,
Mm.
if one of them gets cut or bruised, they don't even come to us. They go straight to the first aid kit and patch it up themselves.
Good,
Right?
good.
So these skills, people don't want their kids to even see blood. I mean, boys are
Yes.
going to be roughhousing, someone's going to get hurt. That's part of being a young man. Again, I let them wrestle each other, let them roast each other. I mean, there's a lot of banter in my house between the boys. It's good because
Yeah.
it builds your capability of dealing with
Yeah.
bullies and trolls and things like that. I have that kind of conversations with my kids just to build in them that mental toughness, because a lot of young
Yes.
boys, because they don't have that in the home, someone just calls them one name on Twitter and they're crying for weeks. Like, come on, bro.
Yes.
People are gonna call your names. Who cares, right? So,
Exactly.
this is
Yeah.
important. Then I also have the issue. Another thing I have with my boys is we have this concept of open conversation. They can talk to me about anything, right? They like literally. My 15-year-old asked me like, "Is it true that in Islam men can sleep with their concubines?" I'm like, yeah, it's true. So, no, what's the problem? And we'll discuss it, right? It's like they can ask me about anything. I don't have topics that are off limits. Like they'll ask me about atheism. They'll ask me about Islamophobes. They're online anonymously debating non-Muslims all the time. So they bring all their questions to me if they get stuck on any questions. I think it's important to have those open discussions. And
Yes.
also, I actually talk to my teenage boys about sexual health as well, right? About the importance of getting married young, importance
Yes.
of having high testosterone levels, that it's natural and it's normal at their age to have high testosterone levels and to feel these sexual desires. It's not something shameful. It's absolutely normal. It's a sign of good health, right? A lot
Yes.
of young boys don't know this, and they go through
Yes.
their youth feeling ashamed of just being a man because no one's taught them these things. Um, so these are just some of the stuff we do. Then of course we have outdoor activities. Um, it's not as much nowadays after COVID as before because a lot of things have closed down. But at least once a year we go to the mountainside for a week, we go quad biking, hiking, horse riding. Uh, we
Good.
like to have just 1 week in nature away from city life. Yeah.
That's brilliant. And like you said, this is character building, developing thick skin, developing resilience, and developing that, independence, self-sufficiency, because we will never be fully self-sufficient because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is in charge of everything. But having as much as you can do, they say,
Yeah.
tying your camel,
So
and we've got
what I tell my kids is, I always tell my kids, listen, if me and your mother had to die suddenly, can you take care of yourself? Or more extreme, I tell them, if the zombie apocalypse happens tomorrow, can you survive?
Yes, that's a great example. Cultivating that independence.